Welcome to Your Voice Must Be Heard podcast. I'm your host, Marquita McGee, a happy wife, proud mother, career woman, and voiceover artist. I created this podcast as a place to be encouraged through wisdom for different aspects of life. We all navigate through the many challenges of life, feeling unfulfilled in our purpose, and we believe there's more. We will explore in this podcast keys to unlock the door to the next level and transform. I'll be interviewing people who have found unconventional wisdom that catapulted them to success in business, health, relationships, and their gifts in the arts. We will reflect on how you can apply unconventional wisdom to achieve your success, affirming what you believe and helping you create your transformation story. Come along with me into this week's episode to capture this wisdom and have forward movement in your life. Hello, I am so excited to have Rhonda here with us today. Rhonda Pope, she is a phenomenal woman. I'm so excited to know her and have her on the show. Welcome, Rhonda.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here.
Ever since I met you, you have been the same. You've been consistent. You're just so kind and down to earth and approachable, so knowledgeable and passionate about life. And we have to talk about you and business. So thanks for being here.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. And you were so kind with your introduction. I greatly appreciate it.
Yes, you're welcome. Okay, so for the people, I want to let them know you are a multiple business owner. You are CEO of Nurture Hair Care. You're the founder of Hydra Bar Salon in Coral Springs, Florida. And you also have Hydra Bar Virtual Salon. And you are a licensed hair coach educator. Wow. Talk about all the titles after a name, honey. I mean, this is so good.
You made it sound so good.
It is. So, in my research, I saw something and I said, you know what, this gotta be how she's just thriving. You had something on your LinkedIn page and it said, you must decide, commit, focus, and succeed. Tell me something about that. Why do you say that those are the things that is needed in business?
Well, once you determine what your purpose is and what you're passionate about, you just have to go for it, because I see people all the time who wish they would have started their own business or wish they would have did something. They end up regretting it. But while you have that passion right then at the time, you have to go for it, because then you're going to look back in life and regret it. So while it's there, you strive for it and you make it happen.
Awesome. Let's talk a little bit about your journey. So we're not talking about hair, but we are talking about hair. We're talking about the business side of it all. As you said that, when you have dreams, you go for it. So tell me a little bit, how did you get into the hair care industry and now thriving as you are as a salon owner and product owner?
Well, I always been interested in hair. I don't know why. It just, got my attention. And I always experiment with my hair, and I used to get compliments about my hair. One day, after trying different things to do, it led me to, focus on what you love. And it was hair. So I decided to get licensed, got my license, went into it just doing hair. I was a YouTuber, did all that stuff. And I got to a point where when I moved from California to Florida, I was working at a salon and there was some issues in the salon. Basically, it was just some back and forth between me and the manager in the salon, some things she didn't like. And it forced me to actually move out on my own. I didn't even want to own a salon, but it kind of forced me in that position. I guess God had different plans. I guess he wanted me to own a salon. And so once I went out and I did a salon suite, the business started growing so fast. I had to hire people, and it basically became Hydra Bar, what it is today. And, Hydra Bar was kind of like my stepping stone to other things. So the thing that I didn't want led to so many other things, but I'm grateful for it now.
So you said you didn't want this, but you did it anyway.
Right, because like I said before, like it was right there staring at me, and I had the passion to do hair. I knew I had to continue to do it, and the only way I was going to be able to continue to do hair if I go out on my own, because I didn't want to work for another salon, because I've already worked for a few salons before. I'm like, this is not for me, and I had my own technique, my own niche, my own thing that I was doing, my own following. So I didn't want to take all of that to another salon. I just wanted to build something for myself. And I was nervous about doing it, but I had faith in myself. I had faith that God was going to make it happen. And so I did it.
Wow. Okay. Okay. So you said you had this special technique. That's what I want to get into. What made you so different to have a salon? I mean, salons are everywhere. I read something from you. You said, or I coined it, that you said you're one of the first. I said, yes, she's a pioneer for the no oils and no butters. You said somewhere that, traditional hair care was just not it. How did you
Right.
stumble upon this, to me, this wisdom key?
Well, I've always been like an inquisitive child and became an inquisitive adult. So I always used to question, like, why is it that, Black women don't wear their natural texture as a little girl? We always have to style it, either by straightening it, braiding it, or doing something to it that was, away from its natural texture. So as I started experimenting with my hair growing up, I noticed that, I have a few little waves, I have a few little curls. That must be my natural texture. How do I bring it out? Because we all felt it when, you get that relaxer and a new growth come out and you feel those waves and those curls, but you don't really see them, and you be thinking like, where did that come from? We thought it was kinks, but it wasn't kink. It was really our curl. And so I questioned, like, what if I bring that out and cater to that and see what it will become? Little did we know that it was actually curled. And so that's how I brought about my technique. I played with things like putting more water into the hair. It was taboo as a Black girl, a Black child, to get your hair wet. You better not get your hair wet for, Sunday for church, that was taboo. You can't do that. But I challenged it and was thinking, like, maybe if I get more water on the hair, it'll bring the curl formation out. Why do other people, other races, wet their hair a lot more? Why don't we wet our hair? Why are we different? I started questioning all that stuff. And I kind of just did the opposite to see what would happen. And some things worked, and some things didn't. And when I figured out what worked, I kept at it. And it totally transformed my hair. And so that's what came to the technique that we have today, which is our hydration set technique.
That is amazing. All that you said, we were not raised that way. I mean, so I
Right. It
get
was all
it.
about oils.
Yes, yes. So
Yeah.
I love it because this hydration technique you talk about, it's not just for Blacks. It's for, all texture hair. That's what I love about it. It's all textures, it's all races, it's for women and men, who have the curly hair. Am I accurate in saying that?
It is, but my passion was for people of color because, just to be honest, because, growing up, we always judge each other on skin tone, and the other thing we judge each other on is hair texture. But when I was able to find something that was going to work no matter what type of kink you have, I have to share this with, our people to show us that your hair is not what you thought it was. Your hair is, phenomenal. It is not limited to just styling. You can actually wear your natural texture and really like it. So that was my driving force behind doing this technique, because more about boosting how we feel about ourselves.
That's good. Okay. I see. I see. All right. So you've got this full salon and you're busy, you're thriving. When did you notice that this thing was really taking off and you were just doing so well in the business with the salon?
When I finally went out on my own and I had to hire help. That's when I realized, I'm like, wow, people really want this. So I couldn't even manage all my clients myself. So I had to I hired two girls around the same time, and even they were getting busy. So I knew it was something to it then.
So then not only do you have the physical salon, you have a virtual salon. So tell us about that.
Well, that came during the pandemic. So when we were shut down in 2020, we couldn't go into the salon to work, but people still, wanted our services. They needed guidance because people couldn't do their hair. And so I decided to actually pull together a virtual salon. So the idea of the virtual salon is for people to come up there and get hair care tips, get videos, get technique. It's like basically we're like walking you through how to get your hair hydrated. So it's basically the basics to getting started on your hydration journey. And then we branch out and do other things like other styles that you could do, to your hair. But it's really, the starting point.
I was reading your bio and I learned that you said, the key to financial success is to have multiple sources of income. So has that always been the goal? Just, once you saw the vision for the physical location salon and you saw how it was thriving, then it's like, okay, what's next? Is that kind of your thinking? Like, how did you arrive at these multiple businesses?
I would say, it happened after I, got the salon and I started noticing my potential and also my income potential. I was like, you know what, to be able to stabilize this, I'm going to have to get multiple streams of income because, working behind a chair, for the rest of my life, that's physical. I can't really, when you're doing something physical, you can't really maximize that. You have to have other things that are working in the background. So I realized I had to do other things, but I wanted to do other things within the realm of what I was already doing. So I always wanted to own a product. I knew I wanted to own a product before I wanted to own a salon. That was always the goal. But I knew I was going to do that. But the virtual salon just came out of necessity and it worked out. It worked out and it fell right into the plan.
Nice. I need to check out this virtual salon. I mean, I love, I mean, I've been following you. It's so resourceful. I love the hydration technique, and, I'm always eager to learn more. And that's what I love about you. I've had the opportunity to visit your salon and I've been to many salons and I feel like it's probably not true. It's just my feeling, that stylists, they just hold in all the secrets. They don't want to tell you how to take care of your hair. They don't want to give you, the strategies that you need, the plan, that you need to have healthy hair care. It's like, no, just come back to me. Just come back to me. But I felt like when I came and sat in your chair, you really took the time to educate me and, I enjoyed that education package and, teach me like, hey, you're here, but when you leave here, you need to know what to do when you go home.
Right.
That's what this podcast is about. It's about navigating through those struggles, those stressors, those challenges in life. And we all know the pandemic was a challenge. It was a struggle. It was a test for the world. And so, a lot of businesses shut down, but you found life in that. You found another way to thrive. And so that is just so awesome to have something virtually to meet not only in your state, but around the country and globally, as your contacts reach. So that's beautiful. So, okay, we talked about 2 salons. Now we're going to head to the product line Nurture. So tell us about that. I know it goes hand in hand with the salon, but, where did the wisdom come from this? Everyone's creating a product line, yet you had something different that no one else had.
But it's something that makes it a little different. I just shared with my team. Is that with Nurture, you actually would put it on the hair dripping wet. It's meant to be put on the hair dripping wet because the whole idea behind Nurture is really to lock in the water. I think most hair care products or most curl defining gels or, what have you, I think they're supposed to define the hair itself. But what I wanted to do, and with the technique that we do in the salon, we want your hair to be able to have a memory and define itself because your hair is naturally curly. So we're not trying to put, a fake curl in there. We just want to enhance the curl that you already have. So what Nurture does, it takes the water that your hair desperately needs and it basically makes the water work with your hair. So that's why you will apply it to dripping wet hair versus putting it on outside of the shower or outside the shampoo bowl, because it's meant to work with water. It's not meant to take the place of what water can do.
How did you get that? That's what I'm talking about. That wisdom that, helped you develop this thing.
Because if you notice, if you wash your hair or wet your hair, it's water that makes the hair looks good. It's water that makes the hair nice and curly and shiny. A lot of people say so many times, like, oh, my hair looks so great when it's wet, but it doesn't stay that way. Yes. I get it. But the thing is that we don't want to use a product that's going to take away the benefits of what water is giving you. What Nurture does, it keeps the benefit that water is giving you. It's just an aid to help it out. So that's why you put it on with dripping wet hair. When you put on a product after, you get out the sink or when the water has dissipated more, then you're not getting the benefits of the hydration.
Okay. You've got this thriving product line. You have salons and you're educator, obviously. You've got longevity in the business. And so, what are some tips or, wisdom that you can share for people who want to build their business? What's the key for you to continue to thrive in the midst of this economy? And, as we said before, the pandemic, like, how are you're still so successful?
So I would say you're going to have a passion or either a why, and your why can be your passion. If you don't have that, then you're not going to have the motivation to keep it going. So that's what I would tell people, number one, because I see so many people who want to start businesses, but you can tell they don't have the passion or they don't have a why, and it doesn't usually pan out very well. So that's number one.
That's good.
Number two is, number two is to make sure that your business is set up correctly. To make sure you have everything in order, have the basics, make sure, you have, your tax stuff right. Make sure you have a separate bank account for it. Just those like legal and financial things you want to have in place, because later on it's going to bite you if you don't have it. Mm-hmm. And then also, believe in yourself. Like, I had so many people, even when I wanted to do hair, they was like, why you want to do hair? Because, I was in college and I decided, this ain't for me. I'm just the type of person that I like to do my own thing. And it just didn't feel good, to stay in school. Like, what am I here for? I don't even know what I want to do. And so much of my family and, probably some of my friends, they didn't understand what I was doing and I was trying to figure it out, but I knew it was more to me than that. And so when I finally figured it out and I believed in it, like, I didn't really care what other people thought. I knew where I was going to go with it. So even if other people are against you, but you have that passion and you believe in yourself, just keep going. I know it sounds so cliche, but it's true, because at the end of the day, you only have yourself.
That's good.
And God.
That's good. Yes, honey. And God. Yes.
Right.
Yes. Most importantly. So, okay, let's get to some real meat here. Let's talk about struggles, challenges. Tell me something you'd like to share within the salon, the product line that you just thought, oh, this is over, or man, this is a struggle. How am I going to rebound? Have you experienced anything like that?
Oh, yes. I think everybody has experienced struggle. You have any type of success, you have experienced some type of struggle. Far as a salon, just hiring different, people to work for you. It's a lot of trial and error when it comes to that. I had, stylists who had betrayed me. I had, all types of drama with that. But, even customers sometimes will, plot against you with your stylist and, try to get your stylist to go on this way and cause they see a good idea, they see a good opportunity. And so I had to deal with that in my past. But, with the grace of God, I was able to stay afloat and, it didn't waver me. With the product, I had a business partner when I first launched the product, family member. And I would say that if you can avoid it, try not to have a business partner if you can avoid it. But if you must have a business partner, make sure that you have an ironclad contract. Now, I would say we did have a contract, but I wouldn't say it was ironclad. I I was too trusting because, it was family. And even though somebody can be your family, it's still business. You got to treat them like anybody else. And so I learned a lot from that situation. It basically got to the point where, to make a long story short, like the product was taken from underneath me, and I didn't have any product for my salon. But thank God I have the technique, and so I can use a lot of other products to still give my clients great results. But with the product, I put my salon name behind it. We marketed very well in the salon, and that's how most people knew about the product, were from, our salon. And when it was swept underneath me, it was a little devastating. And I must say that, it did break my heart. I would say that. But I was determined, because remember, I said I always wanted the product.
Yes.
I always want a product line. So I was determined that I was going to do another one. And I must say, things just fell right in my lap. It's amazing. That's why I say people don't believe. You have to believe in God, because things really will fall in your lap sometimes when you're faithful. And I had all types of things that I would have never imagined just fell right in front of me. And I utilized it and used it to my advantage and was able to get right back into the game. Other struggles I had, because during the midst of all this, I'm getting myself back together, I have this going, you think everything's going well. Actually, I went through a divorce, and that was devastating to me also, because, you never imagine when you're getting married that you would eventually, get divorced. But I didn't feel like I had anybody, who had my back. Like, I feel like I'm out here, I'm fighting this battle with, people at the salon, fighting a battle with business partner, and then at home, I don't have anybody there, looking out for me at home. So I felt like I'm fighting a battle all the way around. And 2020 came up, and it was just tough. Like, you couldn't go nowhere. And so I had to deal with all this in the house. So my only outlet was to try to figure out, how can I dig myself out of this? Because I remember even sitting in the house, working on my computer, writing out a plan. It was so funny, because I went through my computer the other day and I saw one of my master plans, like master plan for bouncing back.
Oh, wow.
for a product. Because that's what I do. I sit down and I plan it. Like, if something got me up against the wall, I'm going to sit down and plan it and figure out how can I get myself out of it. And, some of the stuff was just very emotional. So it was just me healing and taking time and, trying to understand, like, how did it get here? What can I do better to prevent this to happen again? Or, also forgiving myself and realizing that it's not all my fault. So it's a lot of emotional things that I had to go through, and a lot of praying and getting around people who were, like-minded and people who actually cared, So I had to lean on people very much so. People who you didn't think care, they cared. And people who you thought care didn't care. So you learn a lot when you go through things like that.
Wow. And here you are, back at it like nothing has happened. Wow, you're resilient, and that is so admirable. Whew.
Thank you. It was a lot. I'm trying to write a book about it, right? I might have to write a book about it, but it was a lot. It was a lot. But you know what? At the same time, I'm grateful that I went through it, surprisingly, because it had made me a better person. I'm a lot more logical about things. I see things whole. I let more things kind of brush off my shoulders,
Yes.
Don't get me wrong, I still have feelings, I could still be hurt, but I see things a lot differently now.
Would you say that through that experience, you kind of, it helped you to kind of reshape your business or refocus it or do something different?
It did. And you know what I didn't mention, because, it's recent, but, my mom was a big part of, my business. My mom actually just passed away in December. And she was so proud of me. She saw everything that I went through. She couldn't believe, her daughter, doing all this stuff. Like she saw it all, and that how I continued to walk through it. And, one of the things that got me back up on my feet was, she kept saying, you can't let your stuff fall because of all this has happened to you. You have to get back up and do what you're doing. There's so many people who are so proud of you. There's so many people who are dependent on you. There's so many people looking up to you. And she kept pushing that in me. And even though I was, getting back to myself, before she passed, but after her passing, I know that's what she will want me to do. So it's like I've been like on it. Like I had been so focused on it harder than I had been focused ever, because my mom was so proud. She go on a virtual salon and I got her a membership over there. She was always over there on the virtual salon. She would tell me what's going on. I'm like, wait, like, do I need to hire you? Like, so she would tell me what's going on up there and keeping up with my business. And she was like my silent business partner. And I would tell her what I got planned next, what I plan on doing next. And she was so engulfed and excited about that. And, her passing, it hurt me a lot, but I will say that I at least know that I was a good daughter to her, that she told me. And I know that, I made her feel proud and she was happy that I included her into my stuff, and she felt like she was a part of something big. So that's my piece in her passing, because I have no regret. I felt like we had a great moments together, and I can't regret anything about my relationship with my mom.
That's beautiful. What a way to make mom proud.
Thank you.
I mean, goodness, looking at you, you wouldn't know that you've been through all these obstacles and challenges, and yet you found light. You found life to continue on, and that's so powerful. So many people give up. We live in a society now where the struggles with mental health and, just the trauma that we experience, people just give up, but you haven't. And that's so commending and very inspiring. And so thank you for sharing. Thank you for your transparency.
Thank you.
Yes. So you talked about your mom a little. So I want you to now flip it as a parent to your son. What do you want him to gain or learn from you being the entrepreneur mom, the successful businesses owner and CEO, and, just the challenges and the obstacles you've been through? What is it you want to leave for your son? What do you want him to take?
My son is so smart. He's very smart, and he has been there for me through thick and thin. Like, me and him are attached to the hip. And he's seen me go through so much. I remember when I opened up my salon, he was a baby, and I would do my hair, had him, in my, like the little thing that you carry on you, the baby sitting there. I had to have him up there while I'm trying to do hair. I remember one time I had a consultation with a client. I was like, but I must warn you, I got my child here with me. I just want you to be aware, so you won't be surprised, because it's like I had a playpen set up and everything in my salon suite, And so he's been there with me for everything, and he's been there with me during the hard times. Cause a lot of times, by myself with him, and he's seen all my business adventures. He was very close. He saw a relationship between me and my mom, how we were very close. So he's seen it all, but he's seen all the adversities that I went through, and he see that mom is still on top. He see that mom is still thriving, still got her business. Cause he say so proudly now, like, yeah, I know your business is. He said, you had a hair product line and a salon. I said, what are they called? He's like, Hydra Bar and Nurture. I said, well, you know what? You need to start working and start advertising to people at school. But I want him to see that mom, no matter what I went through, I didn't let anything stop me. I'm still thriving. And I want him to know that, just because things happen in life, and things will happen in life, you still got to stay focused and do what you need to do. And he also see that I kept God first. I pray. I talk to him about God, because even when he see me down sometime, he'll come to me and he'll say, Mommy, let's pray together. And that makes me the most proud, because it lets me know he's paying attention.
Yes.
He's watching me. And, number one thing that you can do for a child as a parent is to teach your children about God. I feel like if you don't teach your children about God, especially you grew up that way and you're a believer, then, what are you doing?
Yes.
I mean, that's the foundation. And so for him to recognize that at an early age, and for him to come to me and tell me, let's pray, then it lets me know that I'm on the right track. And, I can't ask for anything better than that. So my legacy to him is to never give up. There's going to be adversity. You got to work through it. And to also keep God first.
That's great. That is great. Love it. Okay, so you're here in Atlanta in April, is that right?
I will be.
Yay, promoting the business at the Natural Hair Show. So Hydra Bar Salon will be in the building, as well as Nurture Hair Care. So tell the people, what more can they expect from you this year, and what does the future look like?
Well, we are working on some other things. So I'm working on a stylist network, because we constantly got people from all over the country, all over the world. I don't think a lot of people, we don't talk about it. People say we should advertise this more, but we have just as many clients who live out of state and out of country as we do local. So people fly in to actually get their hair done with us. And so I wanted to come up with a stylist network, because I want to teach other stylists in other areas, what we do, and also teach them the business aspect, because it's not just the curls. I think a lot of people need to understand the business aspect of running a salon, because the number one compliment we get about our salon is that, wow, y'all are quick, y'all are super professional, y'all on top of it, 'cause they like the way we run business. And we even have papers laid out. So when they come to visit our salon, it's not just coming in, getting your hair done. You have to fill out a form. You have all this stuff. We're like a doctor office. That's what people say. Y'all like a doctor office. Y'all take intake forms and all that stuff. Yes, because we got to keep it organized. We got to keep it together. And I want to be able to incorporate this stuff into other people's businesses, or they can work under me. So that's why we're going to roll out the Stylist Network pretty soon. It's going to be 3 levels to it. And, you all will hear more about that if you follow us at hydrabarsalon.com or at nurturehaircare.com. And we're also on Facebook and Instagram. More popular on Instagram, though.
Wonderful. That was going to be my next question. How can they find you? So say it one more time for them.
So you can follow us at Nurture Hair Care on Instagram, and Hydra Bar Salon on Instagram also. And I do have my page. I must say I'm not that active, but Curly Rhonda, I post every now and then. But you check out the other 2, you'll be more in the loop about things.
All right. So is there anything else that you want to share? Something that I missed that you really want people to know?
No, I don't. Not right now. No, not right now.
We got to leave something actionable for the listeners. What can they do today to be successful in their business?
I would say write out what you want in your business and what do you see for yourself. Have a plan. It don't have to be in any type of organized way. It just need to make sense to you, because a lot of times you put things on paper, you can refer back to it easier and actually take action and do it. So I would say write it out. Even if you're not exactly sure exactly what you want to do, just write it out, and then it'll come to you, and keep referring back to it.
That's good. That's good. Well, Rhonda, I want to thank you for your time today. I'm so excited that we got to share this moment. It's been long overdue, and I'm just so excited for the world to know about you and about Nurture and about Hydra Bar, and I hope they care about it like I do. So thank you for your time today.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate you and I love you for always
I
checking up
love
and thinking on
you.
me. And
Yes.
we're going to meet up in Atlanta. Hope you be a part of the show.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Your Voice Must Be Heard podcast. I hope the story you heard inspired and motivated you to take action for transformation in some aspect of your life. I would love it if you send an email with questions, share your enlightening moment, or profound wisdom you may have. You can also connect with me on Instagram at Your Voice Must Be Heard podcast. I look forward to hearing from you. See you in the next episode. Bye.